A month before our wedding, Chase brought his white moonlight Brielle home. Serena, Brielle's back in town for vacation. A girl alone in a hotel isn't safe, so I figured she could crash with us for a few days. You don't mind, right? Brielle slipped her arm through mine. Ellis, don't paint Serena as some petty shrew. It's all about girl help girl. She couldn't bear to leave me alone in some lonely hotel room. I shook her off. So you do know we're getting married soon? Then why is one of you forgetting male virtue and the other wifely virtue? In a huff, Chase grabbed Brielle's hand and stormed out. Weeks later, he texted me late at night. A deep male voice answered the call. Who's this? Chase hesitated half a beat before replying. Who the hell are you? Serena is my fiancé. Got it, Emery. You found some guy to make me jealous? Newsflash, that trick is useless on me. The guy on the other end rummaged through a drawer and fished out a marriage certificate. He snapped a photo and sent it over. Buddy, help me out, how do you read these 3 words on the cover? You say Serena's your fiancé? Serena and I are already husband and wife, so does that make me your fiancé? Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. Chase, tonight either she walks, or you both walk, your choice. Seeing me strip him of face in front of everyone, Chase's expression darkened. Serena, Brielle and I are just friends now. Don't overthink it. We're still getting married. Serena, I'm only back to catch up with Ellis, Brielle chirped. I'm not heartless. Just because we broke up doesn't mean we have to cut each other off. Ellis and I are done romantically, but the friendship's still there. Besides, I'm already engaged, my fiancé doesn't mind, so why are you clamping down so hard when you two haven't even signed a marriage certificate? She folded her arms and pouted. So you do know we're about to tie the knot. Then why is one of you forgetting male virtue and the other wifely virtue? If you insist on keeping her here, fine. Let me remind you, not only are we about to get married, we're also about to not get married. Serena, who exactly are you threatening with marriage? Your engraved invitations are already mailed. Cancel the wedding and see whose face is plastered all over Instagram. When you're left standing at the altar with no groom, don't come begging me. Brielle, let's go. Before leaving, Brielle sniped at me one last time. It's the 21st century and you're still this uptight. A woman who won't let her man have female friends is totally lacking in empathy. Chase clasped Brielle's hand and slammed the door behind them. I hooked it shut with my foot so it sealed with a final click. I hadn't just learned about Chase reconnecting with his ex months earlier, he'd started taking business trips abroad, always to the same country, England. More than once I wondered, who on earth is in England? Only when Jolene mentioned it did I connect the dots. Brielle had gone to grad school there after college. I'd seen Brielle's photos on Chase's Instagram, and Jolene had remarked we looked somewhat alike. I hadn't felt it, but when Brielle stood before me in the flesh, I froze. The vibe was different, yet at first glance the resemblance was enough to confuse even me. No wonder Chase claimed love at first sight back then, pursuing me with manic intensity. The day he confessed, he ladled on every syrupy cliché in the book. Turns out it was all camouflage, so no one would notice I was a stand-in for the white moonlight he truly loved. I used to think he was just a hopeless romantic. Now I knew the clown was me. The moment Brielle and Chase stepped out, Jolene stepped in. I played her the surveillance clip of the showdown. She practically levitated with rage. Come on, girl, we're ditching the scumbag and celebrating your rebirth. The pair's theatrics had left me with a pounding headache. All I wanted was to crawl into bed. But I knew Jolene would never let me off that easy. She practically forced me into makeup and a fresh outfit, then dragged me out for drinks to meet the abs superstar CEO I'd heard so much about yet never seen. Tonight was her company retreat. Knowing I'd been dumped, she refused to leave me home alone to wallow and hauled me to the party instead. Partly to vent, partly, let's be honest, to sneak a peek at those legendary abs. The tiny snag, their boss was tied up with work and hadn't shown. Still, he'd promised to chauffeur everyone home since they'd be drinking, especially the women. Jolene said he always personally sees employees to their doors after retreats, company tradition. I was still marveling at the existence of such a thoughtful boss when a tall man in a deep navy suit pushed through the door, his frame solid muscle. The room erupted in cheers at his arrival. From my angle, I caught only those long legs. I'd had enough drinks that standing felt negotiable, so I tucked myself into a corner. Then Jolene towed him over. "Serena, meet our boss, Adrian." "Who, Adrian?" That name's everywhere these days. I looked up and collided with eyes framed by long lashes. "Boss, this is my bestie, Serena." The moment he heard my name, any doubt vanished. He was the white moonlight of my high school years, Adrian. "You two know each other?" "More than know, we're pretty tight." "Sunny day, doll?" Mortification washed over me. I dropped my gaze, but the blood had already raced to my ears, painting them scarlet. Jolene, tipsy and blunt, squinted at me. "Serena, why are you glowing red? I haven't even shown you his abs yet." Adrian stepped half a pace closer, barely noticeable, yet close enough to set every nerve alight. "What? Already demanding to see my abs the second we reunite?" At that moment I wanted to tunnel through the floor and drag them all in after me. The room was chilly, the alcohol haze lifted enough for a shiver. Adrian didn't press the tease. He simply shrugged off his suit jacket and draped it across my lap. "Hold this for me," he said, then pivoted back to the crowd and started rolling dice. I couldn't help tracking him through the throng. Under the translucent white shirt, the ridges of his abs flickered in and out of view. As for his face, childish innocence had been etched away into something deeper. Every move carried the same cool, rain-still composure I remembered. My phone buzzed. Chase. He'd sent a half-naked selfie, skin and bones, basically a scrawny monkey. You didn't need 3 guesses. Brielle had obviously swiped his phone to send that text. I snapped a clandestine half-body shot of Adrian and pinged it back. "Life's short. If you're going to eat something worth chewing. Shovel trash into your mouth and it'll poison you." Past midnight, the world fuzzy around the edges, Adrian asked a coworker to drive the drunk ones home. When he eased me into the passenger seat, circled to the driver's side, and fired the engine, it hit me he hadn't touched a drop all night. "Serena, you're getting married?" The moment he stepped through the door, he spotted the framed engagement photo on the table. I yanked the frame and hurled it into the trash. "I don't marry dogs." I reflexively kicked the armchair beside me, only to lose my balance and tumble straight into Adrian's chest. He caught me before I hit the floor. "Then what about me? What? Am I human or am I dog?" Heat scorched my cheeks. I wriggled free. "Ooh, you just puked wine on my shirt." I glanced at his chest. Sure enough, a dark stain bloomed across the cotton. Probably when he'd steadied me, a wave of dizziness had surged and I'd burped Brielle's Merlot right onto him. "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to." If apologies fixed everything, we could fire every cop in the country. "What do you want, then?" "Take out your phone." "Heh. Add me so you can pay for the dry cleaning." Oh, he only wanted money. I whipped out my cell, woke the screen, and from his angle he looked straight down at the chat thread still open with Chase, complete with the obvious stealth photo of him. I swiped it away, but when I caught Adrian's smug little smirk I knew the damage was done. He added himself to my contacts, then waved the phone at me on his way out. "So tonight you ate and drank pretty well." "Good to know." I covered my face, ready to teleport to another planet. My phone exploded with pings the next morning. An unfamiliar group thread called Beyond Chase had 99 plus new messages. "Brielle, I'm dropping that pic of you and Ellis from last night here. Look at Ellis and Brie, match made in heaven, total fairytale couple. If Brie's family hadn't shipped her off to England back then, those two would have a kid in grade school by now." "Stop, guys. Ellis and Serena are the ones getting married. I only see Ellis as a big brother." "Brother? From the way you two looked last night, I saw steamy romance, not family bonding." Reading it made my blood boil. Noticing Brielle owned the group, I realized the game immediately. I flicked through the photos, several caught Chase staring at Brielle's profile like she invented sunlight. I'd never seen that silky longing directed at me. Of course the first love glows brighter. I meant to ignore them, but Brielle at me. "Serena, don't be mad. I started this group so people could share group pics. Since you and Ellis are about to marry, I wanted total transparency." "They're only joking, don't take it seriously." I answered with a cold laugh. "You love adding people. Why not drag your mom in here for transparency too?" I refused to bicker like a grade schooler. After that line, I exited the chat. Wasting another second on garbage would insult the cloudless sky overhead. I stretched, ready to get up and brush my teeth, when my phone buzzed again. Figuring Brielle wanted round 2, I rolled up my sleeves only to find a text from Adrian. Lakeside Park, today. You owe me. Remembering last night's cringe, I pulled the quilt over my head for a full minute before facing reality. A park meetup meant leggings, a tank, and a perky ponytail. I was heading out when I ran into Chase waltzing in. What are you doing back? A pack of his buddies shadowed him. Serena, I'm packing. Brielle and I are flying to England for a while. Consider this your official notice. The wedding is off. I stared, baffled. What does that even mean? It means I'm dumping you. Fine. Pack thoroughly, leave nothing. I never want to see a trace of you again. He let out a sarcastic chuckle. Still pretending, Serena? Will it take losing me completely before you learn how to spell regret? Don't blame me for being ruthless. If you grovel right now, maybe I'll stick around a few extra days and give this relationship a proper ending. Pass. I have standards. Once something's filthy, I don't touch it. I've got plans, so if you'll excuse me, finish up and shut the door on your way out. I strode toward the exit. Chase barked after me, Serena, step outside and we're finished, forever. Take all the time you need, you're not worth a second of mine. Oh, and tell Brielle she can drop the hostility. These days, I'm dining quite well. A furious thud shook the door behind me. Honestly, I'd never seen Chase lose his cool like that. Was it bruised ego or wounded pride? The answer no longer mattered. One of his buddies muttered, Ellis, she just left. Think she's actually done? Her face was ice cold, doesn't look like a tantrum. Weren't you saying she can't live without you? That she'd cling to you begging even if it killed her? Bro, you overplayed it. She's pissed for real. Let her walk now and you've lost her for good. She'll come crawling. A bride can't show up to a wedding without a groom. Where exactly did Chase get that confidence? I snickered, swung onto my bike, and pedaled toward Lakeside, 10 times lighter now that the trash had taken itself out. I really ought to thank Brielle. Better to learn the jerk's true colors before the vows than after. Ruin my moment. Fine. Ruin my life. Not a chance. Adrian was sitting on a long bench, fingers long and knuckles sharp. Lazy posture, yet still aloof, proud. He wore casual sweats. The ridges of his abs showed clearly through the tight, solid-colored tee. You're here. Sit. He radiated such a powerful aura that anyone beside him felt uneasy. The bench was wide, but I barely touched a third of it. Right, you said I should pay you. How much was the shirt? I'll send it right now. Bringing up money the instant we meet, okay, a little rude. Or I could buy you the exact same one again. When did I ever ask you to pay me back? I unlocked my phone and double-checked the message he'd just sent. You literally texted it. Forgot already? See for yourself. Oh, typed too fast, wrong character. Which one? I skimmed the screen, only a few words total. The only possible typo that made any phonetic sense was the verb pay. Keep me company. My face flashed crimson. Blood rushed to my head, my mind went blank. I had no idea what to say next. You came looking for me last night on purpose, didn't you? Still carrying a torch? No. I didn't know Jolene's boss was you. Into abs guys these days? Adrian leaned in. Why so red? Don't tell me you're still into me, been pining all these years. Not a single question I could answer out loud, yet I had to try. I really don't. But the shyer I got, the more relentless he became. Serena, you stutter when you lie, and you blush when you stutter. Right now you look exactly like the day we graduated, when you swore you'd never loved me. I stared at a drifting leaf spinning in the air. The little vortex swept my mind back to the big tree in high school court. Adrian had sat behind me. For 3 years he chased me with everything he had until my frozen heart began to burn. I wasn't not in love, our school just crucified any hint of puppy love. A boy and girl standing too close could land on the expulsion list, no discussion. Even straight-A students got no leniency. Adrian topped every exam, he could have walked into Princeton or Stanford. I kept rejecting him because I couldn't let him torch his future for me. Months before the college entrance test, he confessed again. Crushed by stress, I mumbled yes. He was over the moon, yet never distracted me until I heard from his best buddy that he planned to follow me to the same mediocre college. Panic. Our score gap was huge, I wasn't worth that sacrifice. But Adrian was stubborn. Once he decided, a herd of bulls couldn't drag him back. So I staged scenes with another guy, let Adrian explode with jealousy, and, when he confronted me, said the cruel words, "I never loved you." He still made it to Princeton. Years later, at Jolene's company retreat, I ran into the boy I once loved. "You knew back then that I was lying?" "Yeah, Serena." I looked away for a minute. "How'd you end up married?" His brows knitted. "What's that supposed to mean?" "I knew you didn't want me stuck in Riverdale for love, so I went to Princeton like you wanted. I hated long distance. I planned the moment I graduated I'd come back and ask you again. Then the second I packed, your wedding announcement hit my inbox. In that much of a rush. Chase and I were college classmates. If I admitted it, I fell for him fast because, around the eyes, he carried a few strokes that reminded me of Adrian, just enough to pull me under. After graduation I hadn't planned to marry so soon, but Chase's mom pushed hard. Through the years he wasn't awful, just lukewarm. I had everything everyone else had, yet something vital was missing. He always said I was cold, never let him in. With Adrian in front of me, I wanted to pour every secret out. He proposed, I said yes. Without Brielle's appearance, we'd probably be married by now in front of family and friends. "Serena, pay me." Adrian almost growled, snapping me out of the memory. "Tell me the amount. You made me wait years, pay me with a Serena." "Fine. I'll pay." He pulled me into his arms. My tears soaked the same patch of fabric stained red by last night's wine. He'd hugged me once in high school too. I'd bombed a mock exam, felt life was over, squatted under that tree sobbing. Adrian wrapped me up, patted my back, whispered it's okay over and over. Whether it was his arms or his voice, some power in them let me sleep soundly that night, all dread forgotten. He leaned closer. "Serena, can I call you my girlfriend now?" I kissed the crease between his brows, his lips brushed from the tip of my nose to the corner of my mouth. The long empty space inside me filled at last. Right then I almost wished Chase and Brielle would fly abroad and leave Adrian and me in peace forever. Only when I really studied Adrian's face did I realize Chase looked nothing like him. "When's the ceremony?" What ceremony? You can't take advantage and run. Give me a title so you can keep taking liberties the rest of your life." We got our marriage certificate the very next day. Wedding imminent, he didn't slack for a second, dropped his workload, accompanied me to gown fittings, photo shoots, florist meetings, hotel rehearsals. Compared with Chase the hands-off fiancé, it was pure devotion. Even Jolene joked her boss's absence would bankrupt the company. I did urge him to focus, but I'm jobless these days. I handled plenty alone before, I could manage now. Adrian tapped my forehead and told me not to be such a lovesick fool. A wedding belongs to two people, and so does love. These days Chase had been flooding Instagram, close-up selfies with Brielle, sunset kisses on the beach, every clip captioned with the same red heart. I didn't delete them, I kept them for the comedy value. I was curled around my phone and accidentally double-tapped. Barely 2 minutes later Chase sent a voice note. "Serena, ceremony's almost up. Your house must be a circus right now. Imagine the headlines, bride dumped days before the altar. Your reputation? Toast. Beg me, butter me up, and maybe, just maybe, I'll hop a flight home and still marry you." I didn't notice when Adrian stepped out of the shower. He loomed behind me, snatched the phone, and in a baritone that could shake crystal growled, "Buddy, who exactly are you?" Funny thing, if word gets out a groom cheated with his white moonlight and still got ditched, does that ruin his good name? Oh wait, good name implies you're human. My mistake. I burst out laughing. Adrian captured the giggle on the recording. "No idea if my wife plans to sweet talk you, and I don't care. You just handed me the perfect punch line, thanks, bro. Do us all a favor, stay gone. We've already got 2 grooms booked. The more suitors compliment my wife, the better I look. Can't risk sharing the stage with you. It'd trash my brand. Suck it up until we're legally hitched, then you can come home." I'll never understand why Chase chose to poke Adrian. The man's tongue is sharper than a box cutter. Chase must still be buffering. Adrian waited. But the silence stretched so long he muttered that the guy's pedigree looked purebred, yet his nerves couldn't beat a housepups. At last a delayed reply popped up. Who the hell are you? Serena's my fiancée. How'd she become your wife? Then, moments later, oh, I get it. You hired an actor to rile me. Cute. Not gonna work. Adrian tore through the suite, unearthed our marriage certificate, and snapped a cover shot to Chase. Pal, can you pronounce these 3 words? If Serena's still your fiancée, and she's already hitched to me, doesn't that make me your fiancé? Congrats, we're engaged. He switched to his own camera roll, fished out a handful of high school photos of us, dropped them in the chat, and topped the flood with twin red hearts. When the storm passed, he ruffled my hair. So, honeymoon. Where to? He only wanted the destination. The rest, he said, was already uploading in his head. Chase rang non-stop. I let every call rot. Adrian shrugged. His out of my weight class. If I actually make him cough blood, I'd have to donate mine, too much paperwork. He refused to block Chase, knowing blocked numbers just mutate into new ones. Better to keep the chat alive, and roast him until the mere sight of my name gave him indigestion. A joke, maybe, but the comfort felt real. Part of me hated marrying Adrian the same day and in the same ballroom I'd reserved with Chase. It felt unfair to the man I truly loved. My relatives had flown in from the heartland. They rarely saw Chase, so swapping grooms would slide right past them. Patching the hole was easy, erasing the stain didn't feel right. More than once I wanted to announce the cancellation outright. Then pick another weekend for Adrian and me. Adrian wouldn't hear it. He didn't want me skewered by gossip. If anyone had to swallow bitterness, it would be him. A ceremony's just scenery, he said. What matters is who stands on that stage and whether their love can set it on fire. You poured months into this production, why gift it to a scumbag? He doesn't deserve it. I do. This isn't your fault. Blame me for not fighting harder back then, for showing up late. Honestly, I can't out-argue Adrian. Since he arrived, he's commandeered the whole event. His line, "The wedding is now co-authored by us." Since Chase never lifted a finger. None of this belongs to him anymore. Thank you, Chase, for fast-tracking the one chance he'd ever need, to wed the only woman he's ever pictured at the end of an aisle. Chase still barrages me. The second he hears the rasp in my hello, he hangs up. I haven't spotted Brielle on Instagram since, but at 2 a.m. Chase's texts crawl in. Serena, I know you love me. Marrying that guy is just a stunt to punish me, right? I'm boarding a flight home. Let's talk. There's been a misunderstanding. After everything we've shared, you can't just erase us. Brielle and I are only friends. If you don't want her in the guest house, I'll cut her off, forever. I can already see you walking toward me. No bride has ever looked that beautiful. I sleep early. Adrian's the night owl, so he's always first to the melodrama. Dude, are you writing a web novel? Pick a lane, CEO tyrant or tragic second lead. Pretty sure you're just the cheating ex. Trash ML chasing his crematorium? Spoiler, audiences don't cry, they roast you alive. Next morning I'd read Adrian's replies and laugh, thinking, Chase, why keep volunteering for public humiliation? On the morning of the ceremony, Adrian begins attendance control. Chase apparently never told his side the wedding was off, still clinging to the fantasy of groom of honor. By the time reality hit, it was too late to recall the clan. So a swarm of hawthorns show up anyway. Adrian greets them with a grin. Hi, are you with Chase? Wrong production. This is Serena. Adrian, take 2. The original groom got cut for being ugly inside. Kindly exit. The front desk will refund your gift money. It left every Hawthorne relative wearing the same bewildered frown. Afraid no one would believe him, Adrian even marched the marriage certificate around like a hall pass. But the groom clearly wasn't Chase, so they couldn't exactly object. If your name got called, you just slipped away in silence. Once this leaks out, the Hawthorne side will be left without a shred of face. Adrian still came over to claim credit. I won't name names, but somebody's the one who really lost face. Jolene stood to the side sporting the world's smuggest auntie grin. Classic my boss move. Half the ceremony had rolled by without a hitch when it hit me. I never saw Chase's wedding crash stunt coming. He shoved open the ballroom doors and every head swiveled in perfect, mocking unison. He must have sprinted straight from the jetway. He was still dragging a carry-on. Serena, I'm here. The host nearly swallowed his mic. In all his years he'd never actually faced a runaway groom-turned-gatecrasher moment. What is this? Adrian first squeezed my hand, then gave me a steady smile that said, don't be scared. Whatever happens, I'm right here. The promise flooded me with courage. On this make-or-break stage I would face the man who once broke me. I wouldn't let Adrian shoulder it alone. Adrian plucked the microphone from the frozen MC. I'm sure you're all shook, don't worry. I've stocked every table with fruit and nuts. Feel free to munch while you watch. I guarantee tonight's episode beats Netflix. Floor's yours, ex-fiancé. Gasps rippled through the room. Guests whispered behind cupped hands. Serena, that spot was supposed to be mine. It's my fault I'm late. Hit me, scream at me, just don't leave me, okay? Chase closed the distance step by step, each footfall drawing a fresh tear down his cheek. I know you still love me. Stop this game and come with me, please. You once told me you wanted a perfect wedding. We can start over right now. Just as he reached the edge of the stage I flicked my hand. Stop. Chase, I never loved you. You promised a perfect wedding, but a perfect wedding needs a perfect groom. Do you qualify? Serena, I'm apologizing, all right? Don't punish me like this. Marrying some random guy will ruin your life. A sharp clack, Chase dropped to his knees on the marble. If you won't take me back, I'll stay like this forever. Buddy, then pity your kneecaps, we'll try to speed things up. Adrian stepped in front of me and addressed him. The room exploded in laughter. Chase scanned the crowd, shame flushing his face, and lowered his head. Before that sideshow ended, Brielle burst in. She yanked at Chase with all her strength. Chase, this woman isn't worth it. Let's go. He flung her off. Why are you still here? I told you to get lost. If you hadn't meddled, I'd be the one on that stage. You think I don't see your green tea games? You dumped me years ago because I couldn't pay your study abroad tabs. Now that I'm loaded you crawl back. I was only playing. Did you honestly believe you outrank Serena? Brielle broke down sobbing under the chandeliers. But Adrian and I knew the tears were just another act, her favorite trick for sympathy. She'd schemed so hard to steal Chase. She wouldn't bail over a few harsh lines. Chase, you've misunderstood. I never meant to hurt you and Serena. Brielle even knelt, pleading for him. Serena, Chase truly loves you. It's all my fault. Hate me all you want, just don't blame him. Bravo, Oscar-worthy. So, Chase, your eyes do work, you spotted the green tea. And Brielle, your brain still fires, you know he loves me. You two trash souls fit perfectly, you should stay chained together for life. Efficient, how about you marry them next? Everyone here can sign as witnesses. Adrian's spur-of-the-moment suggestion left the whole ballroom howling. By now the audience understood exactly what this so-called love crusade really was. Seeing his stunt flop and himself turned into a meme, Chase lost interest, funneled all his rage toward Brielle, and half-pushed, half-dragged her out of the hotel. Adrian even gave them a cheerful wave. Bye-bye, don't come back. Honestly, thank you for tonight's free show. As you've all witnessed, Serena and I choose each other, firmly, irrevocably. No person, no spectacle can shake that. Applause thundered. The ceremony continued, though the host stammered, still rattled. When it came time to recite vows to Adrian, I felt the full force of my love, and saw, maybe for the first time, the depth of the love he'd hidden for years. For one dizzy second I was grateful Brielle had barged in. She hadn't derailed my destiny, only a train wreck that would have ended in ruin. After the reception Adrian and I flew abroad to honeymoon, planning to stay away 10 years, maybe 8, before even thinking of Riverdale again. At the airport I caught a fleeting glimpse of Chase and thought I was hallucinating from exhaustion. Then Adrian stepped away to buy coffee, and Chase materialized in front of me. Eyes hollow, stubble thick. A world away from the glowing boy in those selfies with Brielle. For a moment I doubted my own sight. Then he spoke my name. Serena, am I really losing you forever? There's nothing to lose, we never truly met. All those years together, how can you toss them aside? Trash sits for years and you still pick it right up. When will you come back? You always waited for me before, now it's my turn. However long, I'll wait. Suit yourself. Serena, please don't leave. I can't live without you. I'll do anything to make this right, tell me how to survive losing you. Adrian popped up beside me, hoisted our carry-on with one hand. It was boarding time and I had no wish to linger with the stubborn jerk. I turned to go, only to hear Adrian land one last jab, can't figure out how to live. Then don't. I snorted a laugh. Adrian slid an arm around me. We pivoted away together. I leaned to his ear and murmured, keep talking, your trash talk is perfection. You didn't let him off easy either. The plane lifted, punching through cloud after cloud, watching the city shrink to specks. I realized the past weighed nothing. The only thing worth holding was Adrian, resting his head on my shoulder like a kid, muttering love you even in his sleep. Right then I knew my real life had finally begun. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.